What's up? What's up, America and the rest of the world? This is Earl Jones, the host of the Earl Jones Show. What's poppin'? What's happening? What's crack-a-lackin'? And I was asked a question. Earl, do I get the car rental insurance when I am renting a car? Now, you all know I got an answer to that question. And before we get into that, what can you give thanks for right now? What can you give grace and gratitude for right now? Maybe, baby, you came home, your kids had the house cleaned, they had cooked dinner. You walked in the door, you was like, what's that smell? You took off them heels, you took off them pantyhose, and you made yourself a plate and you sat down and you was like, thank you, Jesus, because I needed that. I did not want to come home and have to cook and be bothered with all this foolishness. And you look at your kids and you go, thank you all, right? Or maybe the person at work that likes to talk to you like they're your boss and you don't report to them, maybe today they got fired. Bless their hearts, right? I don't know. That sounds evil, but hey, right? Touch not my anointed. That's what the word says. Touch not my anointed, right? Or maybe you can give thanks for the fact that you paid your bills, you got clothes on your back, shoes on your feet, a roof over your head, and food in that refrigerator. Might not be what you want to eat, but you got something in that house, right? Something to give thanks for. What can you give thanks for? When you give thanks, you are raising your vibrational energy to get you closer into alignment with what you really, really want. But when you are angry and you're frustrated and you're mad and upset, guess what you get? More of what you're mad and upset and angry about. So give thanks and get the good stuff, or stay angry and get the not so good stuff. Your choice. But be grateful. So what are you thankful for? All right, now let's get into it. Earl, do I get the car rental insurance when I rent a car? Let me be blunt. If you're my insurance customer, I'm going to tell you flat out, absolutely, yes, get it. Here's the reasons why I say that. Personally, myself, I have experienced the power of having that coverage. And I've also have friends that are in the car rental business. We're not talking about working at the counters. We're talking about executive level decision making levels, right? We're also talking about the fact that I have seen what happens before an insurance agent and now as an insurance agent. Personally, myself, I rented a car. I added my brother on as an authorized driver. I got the coverage. He had a car accident in the car rental, did like $10,000 plus worth of damage. I gave them back their keys and said, thank you. And they were like, it's covered, which meant that there was no claim against my auto insurance. We were protected, we were covered. The car rental people took care of everything, right? Second example, personal, right? Had a friend, was in a car accident. The car insurance company gave him a car rental while his car was getting fixed. We are out doing our thing, go back to the car, notice that the car was broken into. The car insurance company did pay to fix the damage to the car as a result of the break-in. However, his parents had to pay another $3,000 in administration costs. That was not covered by their credit card, and it was not covered by their auto insurance. See, let me tell you all something. I've heard stories of, and I've seen videos of insurance agents telling people not to get it. I've been asked by reporters, should you get it? And I always tell them yes, and they don't like that answer. Whole 9 yards. Here's the reality. When it comes to auto insurance and car rental coverage, it's not always black and white. It's not, right? It's not. Let me give you some examples. Let's say you, Jack, you're watching this video. You only have state minimum liability auto insurance. You go home to Mississippi, you rent a car to go and see your mama. You stop at the drugstore to get her some flowers and some chocolates, right? Well, yeah, I just realized what I just said. Bless her heart. But anyway, and then, while you're in the store, somebody parks way a little bit too close to you and their mirror drives, scrapes up against the right side of the driver's side of the car that you just rented. You didn't see it. You come out, the car, there's damage to the car, but the car that caused it is gone. You only have liability auto insurance. What do you think your auto insurance is going to do, Jack? It's not going to call from you, while, floating and, because it's, not, no. You have no coverage because you don't have comprehensive coverage to cover that damage. So that, Jack, you're paying out of pocket. Now, let me give you guys another example. That's right. If you only have liability auto insurance on your own personal vehicle, you sure better get the car rental coverage. Comprehensive, the coverage to protect their car and liability. Now, let's say Jill, are, you're going to a cardiac nursing convention. The hospital you work for has agreed to pay for the convention. You just have to get there, right? So you book your flight, you rent a car, you rent a car, right? You decline the auto insurance coverage. The car is damaged while it's in your possession. You are asked, why were you there, let's say in Tennessee, for the, renting the car? And you tell them you're there for a convention for nurses. That is work. That is business. Your personal auto insurance does not transfer over to auto rental coverage for business use. Not at all. Not even close. Even if you are driving for Uber, Lyft, those drop off, go pick up the food and drop it off at somebody's house or any of that other stuff, not covered. It is not covered. So you, Jill, that car is damaged. Your auto insurance is not covering that. You decline coverage. And let's say the amount of the damage is $10,000. Administrative cost is another $3,000. You're now at $13,000. Jill, do you have $13,000 sitting at home that you can write a check to cover that? Oh, you'll just put that on your credit card and pay that at 14% interest. See where I'm going with this, people? Now, let's say that Billy, he and his family decide that they are going to go see, the grandparents up in Maine. And Billy, they fly up, they rent a car. But Billy and his wife only have, for auto insurance, they have comprehensive coverage for $25,000. They have comprehensive and collision coverage, matching coverage of $25,000 per person injured or killed in the car accident for liability coverage, $50,000 for the total, all parties, for the liability for total, right, the total accident, and then $25,000 for property damage. Billy gets a minivan. Let's say he gets a Nissan, the top of the, they rent him a Nissan, and it's fully loaded, right? That Nissan minivan, let's say it's $45,000 worth of value at the time of loss because Billy fell asleep at the wheel and totaled the vehicle. Luckily, nobody was hurt. However, the most that Billy's auto insurance is going to pay the car rental place is only $25,000. The vehicle was worth $45,000 at the time of loss. 45 minus 25 leaves how much? $20,000 that Billy has to pay. Billy, do you have $20,000 that you can pull out of your 401k and pay taxes on that so that you can pay the car rental people their money? See, here's the thing that y'all need to understand. Your auto insurance is not going to pay a dime more than the maximum of what the policy says it's supposed to pay. So if you have liability only and you out here renting a car and the car is damaged, regardless of how it's damaged, you ain't got nothing coming. If you're renting a car for business or to go to a business conference or work or go to a photo shoot or whatever it is, if it's business related, your auto insurance does not transfer over. And then if you like Billy, you take the family to go see grandmama. He's tired, he falls asleep at the wheel. He's got what most people call full coverage, which does not exist in the insurance world at all, right? He's got comprehensive and collision, but he just caused an accident, and the van that he rented was worth $45,000 at the time of loss. His policy is only going to pay $25,000. He still owes $20,000 on that van. He's got the money, but it's in his 401k. Billy, unfortunately, does not qualify for withdrawals without penalties. So now he's got to pay a federal and a state penalty for withdrawing the money out of his 401k, right? Because not every 401k policy allows you to borrow from it. Or if he pulled it out of retirement or wherever he got it from. Now he's got to pay taxes and penalties on that to give the people $20,000. Now, in all three of those examples, where did people save money by declining the coverage? Do 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 doop doop doop. Exactly. They don't. Your question should be, Earl, what is nothing for 200 or whatever it is, right? Now, personally myself, here's the reality. I'm an insurance agent. I've understood how the car rental game is, when it comes to the car rental game, is played way before I became an insurance agent. If I get into a car accident and I'm at fault, I have $1.1 million in personal property damage because I have high auto insurance limits and I have an umbrella policy. But I still get the coverage. Why do I get the coverage? Because the back end people, when the car rental company files a claim against you, right, because you caused damage to their vehicle, if your auto insurance company pays out a dime, a penny, a fraction of a penny, that claim is on your record for your auto insurance for the entire insurance industry in the United States to see for 3 to 6 years. That means higher premiums for 3 to 6 years. Now, if you also are a person with accidents and tickets and you just got another one, you run the risk of getting kicked off of that policy with the big name companies, and now you're looking at getting high risk auto insurance for the next 3 to 6 years, which is higher premiums. And depending on which company you're with, if you get kicked off, then you could lose your umbrella if you have an umbrella policy. Why are you putting yourself through this? It's not necessary. Now, some of you are like, well, Earl, I have a credit card. Let me be blunt when I tell you all this. So, let me be extra clear. Not every credit card you have in your wallet covers auto insurance. Not auto insurance, cover car rental coverage, provide coverage. Not every credit card does. That's number one. Number two, even if it does, it requires that you reserve the car with that card and pay for the car with that card. What a lot of folks will do is reserve the car with one card and then pay for it with another. You have no coverage. Number three, the credit cards have gotten smart and realized that they should be in second place to the auto insurance of the individual that rented the car. That's right, second place, not first. And there are very few credit card companies out here that are in first. And then fourth, they are only covering a certain dollar amount and a certain part of that claim. They're not covering all of it, not all of them, maybe some. Nah, not some. It's a certain dollar amount. And I think the biggest I've seen so far was $50,000. $50,000. But if you totaled the car that you rented and you caused damage to another car or whatever else, you see how fast $50,000 goes? So why put yourself in that situation? Why? Why would you put yourself in a situation where you're going to pay higher premiums? It's not necessary. Why would you want to go with the high-risk auto insurance provider when you don't have to? And Now, that's also this last one. If you are a commercial driver, you will want to do everything and anything in your power to keep claims against your auto insurance limits. Why? Because claims filed against your auto insurance limits show up when your company, when the company that you work for, that you have that commercial license for, when their insurance renews, they pull driving records from all of the people listed on the policy to drive. If they see an accident on your record, guess what's at risk? Your JOB. Because if driving is a requirement for your job and you cannot be insured under the commercial auto insurance because you have too many losses, too many claims, and guess what you put at risk? I'm just saying, because I used to work for a company that made it very clear, keep your driving record clean. They sure did. Put it in writing and had people sign it. They surely did. Keep your driving record clean. Having a clean driving record is a requirement for the job. That includes accidents. That included tickets. Sure did. People, auto insurance, like on the commercial level, it ain't no joke. It ain't no joke. I know of a company, yeah, I know, yeah, I can't get into all that. So at the end of this video, get the coverage. You're not going to save any money. Even if you have high limits auto insurance, still get the coverage. I only get the coverage that covers the damage to their car and liability. They call it different things, but I only get that. I don't get the extra stuff. Now, you may decide you want to get the extra stuff. Like if they offer medical, you may want to get that, especially if you don't have auto insurance. Oh, that's the other people. If you don't have auto insurance at all, you better sure in the world get the coverage, because you ain't got a pot to pour water in, or the pot that you do have has holes and all around so the water can't stay in it. Get the coverage, right? But there's really no reason for any of us not to get the coverage unless you are just super wealthy and you can just afford to pay for it. But even then, you're throwing money out. I mean, that's good money out with the bad, when it's just cheaper to get the coverage. Seriously. And last but not least is this. Yes, I have seen videos and I have seen people tell people not to get the coverage. So when you talk to your agent, because you're going to do whatever it is that you're going to do for you, right? But when your agent tells you, or anybody in the insurance industry tells you that you don't need to get the rental car coverage, I want you to say these words to them. Can you send that to me in writing? Their tune will quickly change because they know it's not that black and white. Because then they're putting their license and their E&O, errors and omissions insurance, on the line. And I can guarantee you, they're not going to send you that email. They're going to say something like, well, we can't do that. Well, then you have your answer. You should get the coverage. Now, I personally have been in situations where my clients have gotten a little angry with me because I told them to get the coverage. And had one threatened to cancel his policies. I said, do you want me to cancel them now, or do you want to wait till you get back? And he was like, it's really that serious. I was like, I cannot guarantee you with 100% absolute certainty that if you were involved in an accident, everything is going to be smooth for you, because I know it's not. I know it is not, because there are things that the auto insurance is not going to pay for when it comes to a claim involving a car rental, right? And I also know that your rates are going to go up. And I also know that at the end of the day, you're not going to save any money. So I can cancel your auto insurance now, or I can wait till you get back. That person got the coverage. That person had an accident in their car rental. That person was like, I'm so glad you're my agent. Because I told them the truth. And you definitely should get the car rental coverage when you're overseas, when you're in a different country, right? Or wherever. Just get it. You're not saving yourself any money. None whatsoever. Period. You're just not. Maybe you will on the front end, but on the back end, honey, I tell you, that's like getting bit by a shark, like a great white, and it bit off half your body. Ain't worth it. All right, we're not talking about baby shark. We're not talking about mama shark. We're talking about daddy shark and granddaddy shark merged into one. Super Saiyan. Yep, for my Dragon Ball Z people. Awesome. All right, with that being said, I know you got questions. I know you got comments. Go ahead and leave them below. But remember to like and share the video. But remember this, walk in gratitude. Be in gratitude. Find one thing to give thanks for periodically throughout the day. And I promise you, you'll be a lot better off if you did. Okay, bye.